got an appetite, let's bake ourselves a treat.
Did you know that there's more bakeries or panaderias as they're known as in Mexico than supermarkets or gas stations? Now we know Mexicans love their corn tortillas, and the corn crop was cultivated over 10,000 years ago. However, wheat and bread have become such a big part of Mexican culture today, brought in from the Spanish back in the 1500s. Wheat was so important during this period, it was even used as currency. In addition to that, it was also very significant in the religious culture. Spanish aristocrat families also brought with them their French chefs, and with that came some significant recipes like brioche. By the 19th century, bread had become an important part of Mexican culture, and the sweet breads or the pan dulce are seen to be as more important than the plain bread varieties. The most famous pan dulce is, of course, the Concha. It is so popular, there is even a festival held every year called Concha Con. Now, around the world, you can also find similar styles of bread. In Japan, it's known as melon pan, and in China, the pineapple bun. All these types of breads consist of the main dough, which is an enriched dough, a brioche dough, and then covered in a crumbly or crunchy cookie crust. Now, enough pan dulce talk, let's get into making these conchas. So what you'll need to do first is prepare your brioche dough the day before. Now you're going to scale your dough into 65-gram portions. Now you're going to take each portion of dough and roll into a ball. So what I like to do is deflate each portion and then fold and tuck all of those pieces of dough to the center. Flip your dough over and then roll and tighten into a ball. Sprinkle with a little flour and cover with a tea towel and set aside for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, we can prepare our cookie crust. Take some softened vegan butter and whip until it becomes nice, fluffy and pale. After a few minutes, add half of your confectioner's sugar and beat until incorporated. Add your remaining sugar along with any flavoring. I'm using vanilla here, and beat until well combined. Add your flour in 2 additions until everything starts to come together. Divide your dough up into as many colors as you would like, and it's important to use food grade coloring, not natural coloring, as the natural coloring will lose its color over 140 degrees. So make sure that you use the commercial variety. Now you're going to take 2 guitar sheets, baking paper or silicone mats, and start spreading your cookie dough over them in any design that you would like. Cover with the top sheet and then roll into a 2mm thickness. Transfer to a baking tray and then place into the freezer for 15 minutes. Now we're going to go back to our dough balls and just press them down a little bit to give them their signature shape. Once complete, do your final proof until they have doubled in size. Once your cookie dough has completely frozen, you can start cutting them out using a round cookie cutter And then transfer those rounds onto a lined baking tray and place back into the freezer.
I love the way you shake, you stir, you heat, you squeeze. So thick.
Once your proof time is up and your dough balls have doubled in size, you're going to take your frozen discs of cookie dough and place each one over each ball of dough.
Whip that cream, baby, pour that sweet on me.
Take a heat gun or hairdryer and on a low setting, in a circular motion, go around each concha until the cookie crust starts to soften itself around the dough.
Preheat this oven up like 5,000 degrees. It's almost ready.
To create the signature concha, also known as shell shape, you're going to take a sharp knife or blade and carefully start scoring into the cookie crust the design that you would like. The most typical is the shell, but you can also create a crosshatch design as well.
Whip that cream, baby, pour that sweet on me. Baby, shade it. We can cook up, we can stir up when we hook up.
Once they come out of the oven, carefully transfer them onto a cooling rack for 15 minutes before enjoying.